we love Company of Heroes and stuff like that, which is really nice. And they gave a little bit for GCS, which we're now using now. But all right, game has started, so let's roll the intro and get these done. Hello everybody and welcome to game 2 of our King of the Hill week 2. And nope, this is not the first game. If you're watching back on YouTube, you're not still on the same video. This is in fact Paul, who has kept his kingship and is playing UKF once again from Faymanville Approach.
However, the one variable now is we have replaced the calm Dave with the maniacal madman VonIvan to throw a little bit of chaos into your party.
I would like to point out, I know we've done this during the stream, but Von should be very, very tired right now. In fact, 2 hours before King of the Hill started, I was watching him play PUBG with WADA, which he hasn't slept. He wasn't doing very well. Sorry, Von. I've got to say it. You weren't doing very well. And everyone's saying, go to bed, Von. You got King of the Hill. And
Von is a beast, and Von is somebody that I believe could fly over to England on 3 days' notice and win 3rd place in GCS under very difficult, laggy conditions. And seeing him do that, I now believe he has the possibility to do anything. And some people act better as Korean zombies without any sleep, it wouldn't surprise me if somehow Von is almost better in this game.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does have the energy boost, the adrenaline boost, just the pride of playing the King of the Hill in front of his favourite community, the community. Hopefully that gives him a little kick that he needs.
That's not a thing.
It is a thing. The CoH community. Get with it. And
dear. Or is that a thing you're trying to build? Have I just pooed on it? I'm so sorry.
You just poo-pooed my idea of the community. Thank you, Aiden.
There's too much poo-pooing going on in here. It's a general meltdown.
But, forgot what I was going to say now.
We've got 4 Tommies in the build again for Paula. This time VonIvan has gone for Gren MG, which is a pretty standard setup. Wonder who's going to be, if they're going to break out into sniper warfare, much like we saw in that earlier game.
I think that it's likely to happen. If Von was watching the last game, which he may have been, then he'll probably spot the multitude of Tommies on the field and make that decision early on. Or maybe he won't. I mean, it might be a good idea to wait and see if Paula does actually bring the sniper out, or if this is kind of a bait. And it is, because he's going for the Bren carrier.
He is, and that is a nice bait. So far, VonIvan's been very aggressive with the MG42, which is very nice to see. The MG42 is a weapon of war that can be used in very aggressive ways. However, he has now left himself exposed to this flank from the Tommies that have just vaulted that stone wall and are going to flank that said MG.
There are a lot of engagements going on right now, right at the start of the game. This is hectic. Von has laid nothing back at the start of this. He's now struggling to get into that house ahead of the Tommies. Got some Grenadiers to come up and support, and the Pioneers help to control the situation of the cut-off outside of VonIvan's base. But, gosh, there is a lot going on, and Paul is putting VonIvan to the test straight away.
He really is. He's going hell for leather as VonIvan. He's literally gone for it just like we hoped he would, and Paul is now up against an entirely different beast. And it's such a... Oh god, Grenadier under heavy duress from that Bren carrier. Luckily, it's now behind the green cover wall, and cover is of course directional, even on retreat. And looks like it's to have escaped.
Oh, MG just rips through the back of the Tommy, retreating from the fuel west. And that is a significant loss for Paul at the start of this game. Von is now way ahead in terms of on-field manpower, and if he can find a way to deal with the Bren, which I expect his MG might be coming up to veterancy soon.
Tale of 2 retreats there, one successful, one not so much. Now leaving Paul in a, as Dan said, a tricky situation with a little bit of a disadvantage in this early first 5 minutes.
we always talk about players pushing. Do you know what I mean? When you're playing a 1v1, you don't really realize like what your opponent has. You maybe feel a little bit scared to push. Von is not a player that does that. He would have seen the advantage he's got, and Von is the type to just jump in anyway. So I think he's going to take advantage of that situation.
So ill health Tommies against Grenadiers. They're not going to be able to last out in this fuel battle in the east. Grenadiers will rip through them, and he'll have to upgrade to the medical supplies in short time.
Hopefully he does as well, because we saw that game last week with Caesar where he didn't get... Oh! Whoa!
What the hell was that mortar round? There's 4 dead Tommies. That mortar was like a bloody Carl Gustav or something. A siege weapon.
These guys are like, oh, where did that come from? I just heard it. That is, wow. Yeah, okay, GG. Paul is now going to put himself in range of the Grens because they didn't have the munitions to get that foul stuff. Now they do. It'd be a little bit dangerous for them to go and push this. Paul are heavily on the back foot right now, and VonIvan is just slowly locking down territory. That's, that mortar. I mean, this is the good thing with, when models are in cover positions, they clump together, right? We all know this. So this is why mortars are so good against Brits, right? Because you will take advantage of that, and that's just what happened there.
I don't know what happened there. I've never seen that level of destruction recently from mortars. Maybe in 2012 in the early alpha, when Relic accidentally coded it so mortars had 100% accuracy. But Quinn Duffy was on record as saying he thought the mortars were in a really good place, but not since that point.
I have a picture on my Twitter of the patch notes from that patch, and I kid you not, it said this, like literally exactly this. It's like, we have reversed and fixed a couple of unintended effects or something, something like unintended changes as a result of the last patch. And it was like mortar no longer has double range, no longer has like double accuracy, no longer gets like twice the veterancy. I was like, these are unintended changes. Like, we fixed catastrophic disasters in this game. That's what you need to say.
Yeah, no. We fixed symbology on jerry cans and also reversed the fact that there was no offensive veterancy on infantry for 3 years.
Well, all that aside, we are actually at a point right now where these games are pretty good. From what we've cast so far, has been very interesting to watch. And actually, I really like casting the 1v1 scene at the moment, because I do feel like the game is enjoyable. I do feel like it's enjoyable. Everything I've seen of this and played of this so far has been enjoyable. So credit to the balance team for where they are at the moment. But no credit to VonIvan, who, despite being way in the lead, is not really keeping up with map control.
He's not, and that is something that comes with micro, and it comes with the ability to keep up on your actions per minute, keeping everything constantly moving. And when you're a little bit tired, you may be able to win some engagements, aka your mortar suddenly becomes a Schwer Gustav. But you will notice when top players are very tired that their map control does start to lapse a little bit.
Very fortunately, he's in... Oh, look at this mortar again with another 2 model drops on a low health Tommy squad. And this mortar has been so good. I mean, only 6 kills between them, but those kills have been squad wipes nearly, every time. And yeah, great play. But Von, I feel like Von hasn't picked where he's going. He's kind of just going everywhere right now, trying to go for squad wipes, trying to go for, there isn't a direction from Von. He's not capping, you know what I mean, to one side. But he is about to get double
2 victory points. Yeah, he's got 2 victory points. He's now getting the fuel as well. So it's almost as though he heard what you were saying, and now he's showing you his direction. And I think it's been a very mortar-centric build. He spent a lot on them, and they're starting to reap rewards now.
I think Paul is doing a sensible thing here, which is just taking a lot of units down to the right side, make sure he gets fuel, make sure he gets the VP so that he's not getting triple capped. And that's enough. I think he knows that that's enough for the moment. And then he can start working again. And one thing he did in that last game was really work the field very well. Left, right, sucker punch through the center, and that was like GG. So, he did play that last game well on positioning, I think.
Not so sure about these tank hunter infantry section from Paul. There aren't any vehicles on the field. It's a little bit strange to see them at this point. Usually you build them as a counter, not so much as a counter to something that doesn't exist. Mortar again fires, just winning engagements. And that's one Tommy that's going to have to get out of there. The Bren gun also is going to hit a Faust soon enough. And that's another one engagement with VonIvan in the north.
I haven't really seen him actively pushing for that Faust, if I'm totally honest.
We are losing
We're not. Because of that.
They're going for the rifle. Von is doing a lot of damage through wiping those models, whether it be mortars, rifle nades. He's definitely putting that pressure on to just get Brits out of cover positions constantly. Even the flamethrower is a choice here. You can see Von has just got everything he needs to push Brit infantry out of cover. And another huge mortar hit goes in, wipes 4 models along with the flamethrower. So again, huge benefits from indirect fire here.
Yes, it's crazy to see. The one good thing that Paul has going for him is, of course, the universal carrier veterancy to 11 kills. It's definitely reaped the benefits, and you would be surprised to know that the kill-death ratio is a lot closer than it would seem, but VonIvan is catching up quickly and will soon be surpassing the British opponent.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough. He's just working British health down on the models, right? And then just forcing them out of cover and winning the engagements. It's like he's just figured out how to make these engagements fair. And it just is picking away at the health and letting those guns do the work. This is a really nice game from Von. I'm surprised he's playing this well right now.
He's also skipped tier 2. He's gone straight for tier 3. So no pack 40s for VonIvan. Possibly going maybe for a quick Panzer IV.
That's ballsy, because I didn't really see him as having that kind of map control. There's the Faust we were looking for, AE on the Bren. Is it going to be enough to kill it? That Bren is now 3-star veterancy.
It's got all kinds of bonuses. Most notably... Oh, it's a dead Bren! Thanks to the mortar hitting it. That mortar has been
missed it.
destructive. It's just been devastating, and it actually just took out the Bren carry. The Vet 3 Bren carries 8, a full round to the face.
Oh, I
bits
just
of it
missed
strewn
that.
across the map. It was brutal. I'll recreate it now. So put your camera somewhere near the mortar.
Yep. Damn. You know what? Like, it's just
bombshell.
It's like I would never have thought to have looked there, because I would never have been like, oh, don't worry, the mortar could deal with the Bren.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. It's your camera's where your camera is. You can't ever expect to see the automatic AI firing mortar to hit something like the Bren carrier, but it did just that.
Well, despite all of this, VPs is currently 456 for Paula, 465 for Von. So Von is not really making advantage of all of this, this mortar RNG that he's been gifted. RNGesus has gifted him this game. And Von is saying, I don't want your game.
But he's built the crucifix of mortars for RNGesus to climb upon. I probably should have said church. No, he's built a church for RNGesus in the mortars, and now the mortars are worshipping. That's a much better analogy, thank you.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
I just heard your kerfuffle in the background at my terrible first analogy, so I had to make instant reversals.
As usual, you rescue it well. So we're gonna see Centaur. Oh my god! Oh, are we really seeing this? You'd think Paula would just keep moving or something, you know? In static positions constantly, and he is suffering for it really badly. The Centaur's going to help though, because as you said earlier, quite rightly, there is a tier skip, and Paula doesn't even know about this, but he's still going for the Centaur with no AT other than the Boyd anti-tank rifle. So this is a gamble, in my opinion, but it's probably going to pay off.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, for about 10 seconds, because VonIvan now has 115 fuel. He could get the Sturg if he wanted, but he probably wants the Panzer IV. And we all know who will win out of a Panzer IV and the Centaur, and it's the former rather than the latter. And it must be noted as well, Paul, as you say, only has the boys' anti-tank rifles, no 6-pounder, no Pack 40. It's very much a test of metal between this Centaur and the coming tank from VonIvan.
Well, we don't know what VonIvan's going to go for still, interestingly.
Panzer IV. Told you Panzer IV, it's a Panzer IV.
Yeah, no, I was expecting it. I'm just wondering why you hadn't picked it as soon as it was available. Because the Centaur is going to be able to get into the base. Paula is not concerned at all about AT. Not really concerned about mines. This could be very, very damaging. Unfortunately, Von isn't really retreating, so he's not going to lose too much.
On the fog of war, I'm just checking now. The Brits can see that the support armor core has been built, so he should be mindful of a counter, you would hope. No, he's taking out the bunker.
Yeah, that's kind of nice to use it a little bit, responsibly to a degree. He might be able to get a wipe on these grenadiers that are coming. Very, very possible. But of course, we do have his counterpiece on the field right now. It's a Panzer IV.
Panzer Mark IV is a hunting tank. That upgrade turret, we did see the wipe of the Grenadier. Will the Centaur pay for its destruction with destruction of its own? Panzer IV is going to try and continue to harass that rear armour. Centaur is a sitting duck out there.
Sorry, trying to be creative with the camera controls. Losing control of the engagement, but Centaur trying to get around. And the speed here, in fact, actually, Centaur seems pretty good at acceleration. He's able to just maneuver around that Panzer IV, constantly damaging the units. But once this goes down, where does Paula stand as king?
Now, you tell me, was that Centaur worth it? Just off gut instinct.
Oh, honestly, I would have said no.
Okay, right, now let me tell you this. It managed to destroy 580 manpower, so that's 2 bunkers, a full Gren squad, and models accounted for, and also 60 munitions. So originally you would say, yeah, straight no, right? But if you count what it killed in that small amount of light, and considering it only cost 320 power and 100 fuel, it wasn't actually that bad.
I know what you're saying, but I think the cost of what it's put him in a bad position. And I don't think that has a value to it, because he can't get a tank out now. He's up against
600. He killed 600 manpower. That's not bad, right?
It's not bad at all. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I think,
all I'm saying is your gut instinct is a little bit clarified when you consider that he was able to kill 2 bunkers and squad wipe that Grenadier. It's not as bad as you would immediately think. So Paula is still in a pretty strong position.
Yeah, I was hoping that he was going to use it to get the mortars, or just like focus those units down, which are causing him huge problems at the moment. The mortar being the prime suspect there. But interesting. What do you think the next tank is going to be from Paula? Because he's got to be.
Do you think he's going to wait? Yeah, he's going to wait now. Okay, his commander, he's gone again for the Crocodile. I would like to see Cromwell to tide him over to Crocodile, and then maybe a Firefly in the late game. That would be an interesting choice. Well, the Comets were really good, and if he commits to the Comets, I do think he should continue to just get maybe 2 Comets, because they worked really good in that previous game, I thought.
Well, here's the thing that's kind of putting me out right now, is that Paula has double fuel. And he's defending the one on the right avidly, and the one on the left really is only support weapons in MG Mortar. They're not going to be really pushing out there because they're in a good position. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a double fuel for a while. And I think I'm just going to keep checking Paula's tech, because I want to know when he makes that decision, because he's going to come up to Cromwell shortly.
Really good point from Pompey again in chat. VonIvan actually started to build the replacement Grenadier when he retreated the original Grenadier. He knew it was dead before it was. As soon as he clicked retreat, he was like, "Oh, for God's sake!" Well, he would never say that, though. Of course, that's internal.
There is a little bit of AT that we haven't picked up on, which is the Piats on the Engineers. So Paula is also using those as a method of dissuading tanks at the moment. And if he's putting Piats on the Engineers, then maybe he is going to store up.
Perhaps that would be a good shout from Paula. He definitely did that in that previous game, hunting down tanks with the pirates. Definitely worked for him there. In this game at the moment, it seems like we're a little bit of an impasse. But I really do think we're one mortar wipe away from VonIvan being in the ascendancy.
There it is.
And nearly hits another one. The one I was worried about is just north of there. There were two Tommies grouped up. And yeah, those mortars have been raining hellfire from above. 19 killed.
That was really good. So the rifle nade went in first, weakened it, and then the mortar fell on top of it, just wiping all the models that were low health remaining. So lovely combination there. Von's been very lucky with things like that this game. He's been utilising it.
Good news. The ability is ready
for use very, very well. But there we go. I think Paula did just tech up. Oh no, he says ability is ready for use, which means Crocodile can be available soon. Okay.
So he could be going for that. I mean, he does have a 6-pounder, but he's now going to be up against 2 Panzer Fears, which are going to be potent, definitely. It's, you know, 1 Panzer's pretty good, especially in that early 15-minute kind of game slot. But in the late game, if you can start to get maybe 2, or possibly get something else from tier 3, then you can really make them work for you.
Von is up high at the moment on army value. He's going to be bringing that Panzer IV, which means that value is going to further go up. And graphs aren't always an accurate representation of what's going on, but there are some situations where you do realise that one person is thoroughly in the lead, and that person today is VonIvan. Let's hope that he can keep it up. Because he can barely keep up, I imagine, after having mostly...
The Brend-up Tommies are now coming to into difficult territory once more. I really do think he needs to do something about these mortars. Just allowing them to whistle overhead and bring death and destruction down on these Tommies isn't making for very manpower savvy engagements. And neither is this Panzer IV right now, because it's hunting these Tommies down. The 6-pounder's having to get into position, but it's already in a difficult state, not facing the right way.
The AT gun was focused on the other Panzer IV that we see heading back to base at the moment, so susceptible to a flank from that side. Sensible decision to pull back to base and reconfigure that assault. But in the meantime, VonIvan is going to start taking all the territories, including that all-important triple cap, which is going to be 1 VP drained every second. And that is going to put a fast pace on this game for Paula to get back in.
Must be noted, VonIvan has some very powerful commander choices to fall back on if he did need to fall back, but I don't think he does at this point. League troops, encirclement, and of course lightning war, all extremely potent.
He's close to to Tiger Race. So, you know, 17 CP for the Tiger Race, and he's currently surviving very, very well with the tier 3, the medium armor, and the Panzer IV. So I fully expect that we would see Tiger Race.
Just to add insult to injury, you get Mikhail Wittmann on the battlefield to just destroy your opponents in a barbaric way.
I mean, I really don't think I've seen the Tiger Race in the 1v1 for a long time, actually, but it's such a nice modelled unit. You know, as you just said, he gets out of the tank, scans around, and then when you go into the engagements, he pops back in. It's lovely to see. So, and also the rate of fire on the Vet 3 Tiger is going to be able to flank and deal with Firefly easily.
So VonIvan has had Paula's make... Fireflies hunting. He's got the Panzer IV in his sights. Could have actually finished him off there, but the Pirates are going to go for it. Personal infantry anti-tank.
I wonder if he tries to ground attack here. He's still pushing. Oh no, decides to give up and retreat. Paula is at least going to try and focus that VP because he wants to try and stem the drain right now. AT gun under a little bit of a problem. It's not getting any support from the Firefly and will have to evacuate straight away. Oh, this is unfortunate. Grenadiers are taking down the monster carrying the gun, which means that will get decrewed. No chance of escape, and I think VonIvan may crew it.
Yes, he's going to crew that 6-pounder and take away the last vestige of resistance of Paula. He's now only got the Firefly left, and the Panzer IV's gunning for him. That's brave.
It is brave because Firefly has huge potency against the Panzer IV there.
Also must be noted, VonIvan has had double fuel now for his continued period of time, so that's doubly making things worse for Paula. He can't rebuild his tank forces, and VonIvan can fall back and possibly not wait for something like Tiger Ace. Maybe he can just keep spamming out the tier 3.
I hope he uses Tiger Ace. What better way to crown a king than the golden unit that comes in off the field? You know, it'd be a lovely thing to see, and Paula would have nothing to stop it at all.
Panzerforce have done damn well so far. We got 1 with 9 kills. That's 1 vehicle kill and 8 infantry kills. Well, they're not a patch on the mortars, which they may only have 21 kills amongst them, but you've got to consider that's 3 squad wipes as well. Possibly 4.
What was that? What was that just landed there? Is that the mortar? Of course, I mean, now they're on Vet 3, the range on these things is, like, incredible.
Dan's wish is about to be granted. Santa, VonIvan, Kappa Claus. He's gone for elite troops, and he's just got to get to that prerequisite 800 manpower.
And lose some units, because he can't afford it in PopCap, I think, at the moment.
That's
so
right.
26 to get it on the field, so you will have to throw...
Do you know the Coca-Cola advert, Dan, where the trucks are coming? Just pretend that's one of those Wehrmacht-era trains with a huge tiger on the back. It's like, Tiger Race is coming, Tiger Race is coming. It's always a dream, it's always the season. Tiger Race is coming, Tiger Race is coming.
That's how I feel right now. It feels like Christmas when this thing is on the cards and there's enough VPs. Paula is still fighting back. So it looks like we may get to see it, but... Oh, Paula has upgraded the tulips and the fireflies, so we may get to see the new implementation of these if he does decide to use them.
The fireflies get all the way around the northern tip of that building. The building crumbles before it. The firefly isn't able to get the shot off, picks on the other Panzer IV instead. Perhaps couldn't see the weakened Panzer IV in its position. There's also a sniper out for Paul. He's got a comeback mechanic, he thinks, but I don't think...
Oh! Tulips through the house!
Through the house! Dear God, 4-dimensional chess played by Paula, and he evaporated that tank.
That was a great play. He spotted that. He managed to get a cheeky shot off from the Panzer IV. Beautiful attack through there with the tulips. Great game sense, and he managed to get that Panzer IV down. Paula somehow... Wow.
Oh no! The stolen 6-pounder takes out the heroic the Sherman Firefly from max range just when we thought Paula was back in this thing with that genius play. He is smited on the fields of Faymanville approach.
That really is why players like Paula can be like top players. It is because they can just do stuff like that. But hey, it's here! It's here!
No! Here we go, we've got 64 tons of Wehrmacht vengeance, despair and agony to wreak havoc on Paula's remnants of forces. He's only got 4 infantry squads and a sharpshooter left, and Mikkel Wittmann does not care. He's got no humanity, he's got no mercy. He's gonna just destroy them and pick them off one by one.
He doesn't even care about the trees, he just cares about the path of least resistance to his opponent. Look at the rate of fire on this Tiger as it goes, and it will be eating through the infantry. Paula did not know what Von's doctrine choice is, but as soon as he realizes, Paula will drop from the game and surrender his kingship.
I think we need to send this to Imperial Dane. He's currently got a... Oh, sorry, you want to end so you can do the outro. We'll do that first.
Okay, let's do it. Alrighty, we are back in. Good games. Very good games at the moment.
Yeah, I saw something really funny. Imperial Dane's currently got a thing on Facebook where he's noted that, you know, the Steam reviews that Relic are using as an approval rating for the December balance patch.
I saw that.
So there's only been 200 votes. So he's on Facebook. Let me get it for you. Hang on. Propaganda Ministry or something. Oh, cover for me by all means.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I was just changing something on my camera.
Oh yeah,
so there we go. Good. You got it?
Yeah, this is it. So it's a post from Imperial Dane today saying...
So, according to the latest patch notes, they're using the Steam page for the update to judge acceptance for the patch. Currently, they are deeming positive despite less than 200 votes. So you can vote, let Relic know your opinion, and of course, if you're a good Sterling Wehrmacht player, you'll know what to say.
It's just like, how can anyone think Wehrmacht have been nerfed in these patch notes? Everything they've got has been buffed almost. I think, like, one thing, the Panther had a slight kind of semi-nerf and a bit of a buff, and everything else is, like, buffed. Oh, God. Like, the mortar has now been turned into a nuclear missile launcher. And